Hey, it's Neville here, and today I want to show you a thing called tiered pricing, specifically 3-tiered pricing. Now, what is this? 3-tiered pricing is a great way to price your products or services like consulting in a way that you don't scare away the customers that are only going to spend a little bit of money. You ideally get a medium amount of money, and it also leaves the potential for you to get a high amount of money. Let me give you an example. Let's say I'm offering to mow your lawn, right? And I say, I'm gonna mow your lawn for 25 bucks. Well, I go knock on someone's door. I say, it's 25 bucks to mow the lawn. They say, okay, this is all cool because it was a fair price. They bought it. However, what if that person was willing to pay me more money? What if I knocked on the door and said, hey, I'm willing to mow your lawn for $75. And they're like, okay, cool. Wait, so you're telling me I could make 3 times more money by just asking for more money? But here's the problem. What if I go knock on that door and I say, I want to mow your lawn for 75 bucks. And they're like, 75 bucks? Man, the kid down the street will do it for 25. So you don't want to lose that sale by charging too much, but then you don't want to charge too little and maybe lose the upside. So what do? That's where 3-tiered pricing comes in because you're giving different options to people on what they can buy. So for example, if I was going to do 3-tiered pricing with our lawn mowing business, well, I would say the lowest package is going to be 25 bucks just for a basic lawn mowing, right? Then the next tier above that would be the medium tier, where I would charge $75 or so for a lawn mowing, weeding the yard, and edging the grass. Now, the third tier, we always try to go for the kill. We always try to go for a high-end price. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna charge $125 per month. And I'll come to your house every month, mow, edge, weed, and do some of your basic gardening and make sure everything's tidy, trim tree branches. But basically, I'm going for a really high-end service that's repeats preferably as the higher end. Now, if I came up to every house and tried to offer them that service right away, a lot of them might be like, I don't need all that stuff, so I'll have to pass. But if we have our low-end offer of just 25 bucks for lawn mowing, then they're more likely to say yes. And the cool thing is, a lot of times clients will go for the lowest price thing you have, and then when they realize that you're good to work with and you provide a good quality service, that they'll often go for your higher end packages. It's a great way of raising your prices without having to really raise your prices. That's why I like it so much. It's a much more risk-free way to raise your prices to a crazy level, but without totally cannibalizing the lower end sales. So that's the beauty of the 3-tier pricing. You're not just pigeonholing yourself into this lowball category of the low end pricing. You'll often get even more money from clients by going to your medium pricing. And every once in a while, some of the clients will go for your very high-end offering. So let's look at some examples of multi-tier pricing. As you can see, there's a lot of interesting examples over here that we'll go into more depth in just a second. So there's a 3-tier pricing. There's some 2-tier pricing right here. There's some 4-tier pricing over here, 3 paid plans and then 1 free plan. Here's some 3-tier pricing. So let's actually jump into this. This is the builtwith.com pricing page, and as you can see, it has a pretty standard but very effective 3-tier pricing plan. As you can see, there's 1, 2, and 3. Now, why is it laid out like this? Well, the first reason is they can go from $295 per customer to maybe $995. Now, if they only charge $995 at first, you might actually scare away some of the customers, right? They'd be pretty unhappy about that because that's a pretty hefty price to pay. But what if we started them off at $295? So now the customer sees this and is, pretty happy. So they see $295 and they're like, that looks like a pretty good deal, right? Maybe I should buy that. But then they also look at this medium plan over here. So they start to say, well, what do I get with this pro plan right here versus the other one? So it looks like the technologies, there's only 2 that you get. Keywords, you only get 2. Retail reports, 2. System logins, 1. Well, with this pro plan for $495, you get unlimited technologies, unlimited keywords, and unlimited retail reports. So if someone says, I need unlimited stuff instead of just 2 each, then I'm going to go with this plan. And if there's an enterprise company that shows up, well, they're clearly going to go with this plan. So Built With isn't losing any money by only offering the $295 at the low end, but they're also not scaring people away by offering only the $995. So this is a great example of a 1, 2, 3-tiered pricing plan. Now this is an example from WP Engine, a big WordPress host, of their 3-tier pricing, kind of 4-tier pricing. As you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 plans over here. And if they want to sell to a large enterprise company, they can always go the custom route, okay? And they can haggle out a plan over the phone. And they show that their scale plan, their largest plan, is $241 a month. Now, this might scare some people off, right? Because that's a pretty high price per month compared to other hosts. So they're smart. They offer a couple of different plans that's right for you, and the lowest one being this $25 a month. A very competitive price. It doesn't scare people away. And the cool part is that if someone likes WP Engine and thinks they're really good and really solid and provide good service, they might actually parlay their plan and upgrade at some point to the medium plan or the scale plan, or if they get even bigger, maybe have to go to the full enterprise plan. So as you can see, WP Engine isn't scaring away their customers with these large plans. And the difference between the plans is the stuff that you get right here. So as you can see, these are the things included with the very low plan. You get 25,000 visits, 10 gig local storage, 50 gigabytes bandwidth, 1 site included. So that's the low end. But if there's someone that wants a few more sites and a little bit more space and storage and bandwidth, then they'll go with this plan, which offers 100,000 visits, 20 gigabytes, 200 gigabytes bandwidth, and 10 sites. So it looks like a lot of people with multiple sites will probably go for this plan right away. And then people that are larger will go over here. And as you can see, they say this is the best annual value. And then people who are even larger can go this way. So this is a great 1, 2, 3, 4-tier pricing plan that tells you where you need to go, where's the best value for you, and it doesn't scare away anyone with these big prices, but it also allows people to upgrade beyond just $25 a month instead of pigeonholing themselves at that low price. Here is an interesting 2-tier plan from a company called Price Intelligently for a very expensive thing. So their first tier starts at $45K. So right off the bat, they're letting you know that this is pretty expensive and deal with it. And then their other one is $15K, which might be a little bit more palatable. And keep in mind, that's $15K per month. So even with this really high-end consultancy, they are still doing tiered pricing. And they only have 2. They don't really need 3, it looks like. So each one gets you different things, and each one will appeal to a different type of company. So even then, at the very high end, they are doing this 2-tier plan so they can get people in the door with their cheaper monthly plan, or just do it all for people for $45K. Here is an interesting 2-tiered plan, as you can see, 1, 2, from Sumo.com. So as you see, the first tier is actually free. Now, why would they do this? This is because they want people to sign up, right? So this will make people really happy whenever they get a free plan, right? Everyone will want that. And it's with hopes that people sign up from the free and go to the second tier, which is $39 a month. So they're basically funneling people into their $39 a month by getting them on the free plan, showing that the product is good, and then hopefully getting them to upgrade over here. Now, the difference between these tiers is that the free plan, you don't get a lot of this stuff. So you look at it and you're like, oh man, I want that stuff. Well, the paid plan has it. This one doesn't have advanced email integrations. So if you want that, you might want to upgrade to that next plan. And you can get stats for 30 days, but if you want stats forever, then you got to upgrade to that $39 plan. So this is a great little 2-tier pricing strategy. This is an example from Information Street about a 3-tier pricing for consulting. So as you notice,
The tiers are 1, 2, 3. They don't actually have any different services. All it is 10 hours of service, 20 hours of service, and 40 hours of service. So the only thing that they're selling differently in these tiers is the amount of time that you get. That's it. There's no services that are different or anything. It's just time. As a copywriter, whenever new clients want to test me out, I do something similar. On my consulting page, all I do is I have 3 tiers, and it's pretty simple. There's 1 tier, 2 tiers, 3 tiers. 1, 2, 3. Not that fancy, but it works. And what I do is if someone just wants to try me out one time, I have a 1 session that they can try right here. This way they can try it out, see if they like me. But then some people want more sessions right away. So they get a little bit of a discount by buying 4. And some people know that they want to work with me more, so they'll book 8 sessions right away for the higher price. This is a crazy simple way of doing tiered pricing. I'm not offering any different services or anything. The only difference is the amount of time that we're spending with the person. So let's try to make a 3-tiered pricing for ourselves. Now, I've actually made some tools to help you with this. Like, for example, we have this freelance pricing calculator. And what you could do is basically type in your name. So my name is Neville. And the next step is the minimum for a project that you want. So let's say someone wants to give me a certain amount of money to write 3 emails for them. Now, I think in my head, what would make me happy? What would make me smile? Well, I'll think, I'll do it for $500. If someone gives me $500, I'll happily write 3 emails. I call those your minimum happiness number. So let's say $500. And then we're going to be doing basically copywriting for them, right? So we fill these out. And what this does is it's going to spit out this sample pricing chart that you can use. So the basic package would be $500. And this would be the cheapest, easiest, most basic thing they can get. I'll just write 3 emails for you for $500. That's it. Now, what I would also propose to the client is I could definitely do this all day. No problem. If you want to move in that direction, totally fine. But what if I propose to you this advanced package that's $1,200? Now, it comes with more stuff. So the basic package comes with just the basic project, right? No more, no less for a $500 fee, so at least we're all happy. Now that slightly more advanced package right here, this one is going to go for $1,200, and you're going to get some more stuff for your money. So for this one, it's like you get the basic project, and then you get more stuff. So let's say I'll write more emails for you. I'll do more research. I'll make sure that they're SEO friendly. I'll give you support for 2 weeks. So they're getting more products, more services, but I'm getting more money, right? And then for our top one, the professional package, it's $5,550. Now, that's more than 10x this amount, right? But let's propose to them and see what happens with this, right? So this package will be the professional project. You'll write more emails for them. You do more social media stuff, more research, more SEO, more support, basically more of everything. And they end up getting all this stuff, but for a much higher price. That means for the same client, you might only get $500, but you also might potentially get 10 times more than that, thanks to this 3-tier pricing. So from just starting out thinking that we're going to get $500 for a project, we might actually get $1,200 for a project. We might get $5,500. We might get someone in the door for just $500, and then on their next project, they use us for the bigger one. And then for the next project, they recommend us to the bigger one. So this is a great, great way to price your projects so you never pigeonhole yourself on the bottom end and you never scare people away with the high end.
A quick story about my own personal experience with this. When I was in college, I was buying a motorized scooter, like a Vespa, from a store, and I had a really hard time finding the place. And I told the guy, I was just like, the owner of the place, I told him, hey, your SEO sucks. Like, you don't even show up in the search engine listings. Like, it was a miracle I even found you. He's like, yeah, like I don't even know how to do that. And I was like, well, I actually run a small business myself and did it myself. Like, I could probably help you out with it. And he goes, cool, send me a project proposal on how much it's going to cost. So I go home, I tell a mentor I had at the time about this, and I told him, I was in college, I said, I'm going to charge him $500 for the whole project. And I was in college, so I thought $500 was just so much money. I couldn't believe someone was going to pay me that. And my mentor almost slapped me across the face. He was like, you need to charge 10 times that, $5,000 minimum. And I was like, but $5,000, he's never going to pay that. I can't believe that's so much money. It's so easy. I could do all this work in one weekend. He's like, charge him $5,000. And if he says no, you can always tell him to go lower. You could always say, I'll do it for $4,000, $3,000. Just keep going down all the way down to $500, right? So I went to the guy and I planned out all the reasons why he should pay me $5,000, which in my head, like I couldn't even believe that I was going to ask that crazy amount of money. And I said, so for all the SEO, all the work, all the edits to the web page, all that kind of stuff, I'm going to start charging $5,000. And before I could even start explaining what he's going to get and what I'm going to do for him in the process, he goes, okay, cool, let's do it. How do we start? I couldn't believe it. I was going to charge this guy $500 for the same thing. And someone just said, no, charge 10 times more. I tried it and it worked. And that's when I first realized, I was like, oh, what I think they're going to pay and what they know that they can possibly pay is a very different thing. He thought he was going to pay $15,000 minimum for this because that's what he'd been quoted by other agencies. But he was talking to this kid who was about to charge $500. I mean, if I said $500, he would have jumped at it instantly. And in fact, looking back now, I should have charged way more than $5,000 because he was so eager to do it. He probably could have paid more. Now, here's the thing. That was one example. It doesn't always work like that. Sometimes you'll say $5,000 and a client will be like, that's a lot. Like, we haven't worked together before. I don't know if your work is good. I'm not prepared to pay that much money. I don't know if the results are going to come. So that's the best thing about the 3-tier pricing, that you can give people a cheap option to kind of try you out, get the basics, like make sure everything's good. Then they can upgrade and upgrade even more. So my friends, if you want to try the 3-tier pricing, I would highly suggest it. It works on a lot of software companies, a lot of consultancies. It's used worldwide. It's a great pricing strategy I've personally had a lot of success with, and I hope you do too. My name is Neville Medora, and I will hopefully talk to you inside of our copywriting course. Did you know that we actually just help you with your copywriting? We don't just teach you, we actually go through and help you. We will rewrite emails with you, rewrite sales pages, home pages, about pages, cold emails, pricing structures. We do a lot of that. We do ads. So if you ever want help or mentorship, join our copywriting course. We actually teach you stuff just like you're learning in this video, but then we also do it with a lot of other people. So you can see, instead of me talking about 3-tier pricing, you see us going through a freelancer's 3-tier pricing and changing it up. You see us going through big e-commerce companies and changing their 3-tier pricing live and get to see results. So you'll get to see all that, as well as get access to me and the other copywriters inside the forum. And so I hope you join us, and I hope you learned something from the video, and I will talk to you later.